What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Transart Wingwolf, or their version of a Masterpiece scale Silverbolt from Beast Wars. This was sent to me by J.R. Choa. Thanks for allowing me to take a look at your copy. And I will admit right up front, I don't know anything about this character. I really don't know anything about Beast Wars in general. I have an sense, but Transmetal, not that much. But the interesting thing about this is Transart announced that they're done. They're not going to be making any more figures. It seemed like an angry post. It was on Weibo. It seemed like they were kind of upset about feedback they were getting from the fans, and they just decided they were done. So I don't know if that's true, or if maybe after Chinese New Year, maybe they'll change their mind. But either way, it does seem like it's one of the final figures from them. It does have some beautiful paint. Paint is not the issue with this. It's got silver, metallic red, gunmetal, orange, yellow, beautifully painted, 100% painted, yellow for the eyes. Here's the back. The wings are beautifully sculpted and painted. Same for this tail back here. All of that looks really, really good. He does have a gimmick here, which we'll see more in the beast mode, but it does work here in robot mode as well. Overall, pretty nice looking. He has some nice articulation as well. The head is on a ball joint. So up to there, down to there, side to side, and rotates around. You do have opening mouth, and there's some nice detail there on the face. Painted teeth. That looks really good. You have a rotation at the bicep on a ratchet. Goes all the way around. Out to the side on friction, goes up to there. You have a rotation at the elbow. Gets you past 90 degrees. In and out movement at the wrist. Fingers are individually articulated. The bottom three are connected. The top pointer finger is separate, so you can't point if you needed to. Coming down to the waist, you have this hip skirt here. This is supposed to plug in. There's two tabs on either side. It does not plug in. It just keeps coming out no matter how many times you reattach it. And that's just the beginning of the issues with this figure. Things just don't line up, and they should, but they don't. I'm not going to force it. So this is not my figure, so I don't want to break it. You have a leg kick up to there on a ratchet, back to there on a ratchet, out to the side on a ratchet, rotation of the thigh at a cut joint. You have a double jointed knee. These knees are very loose, and that's one of the main issues with this is both knees are loose. I did try to tighten these screws. That didn't seem to help. Both sets of screws, unfortunately, it didn't tighten. So he tends to be back heavy because obviously he's got wings, and when you start posing him, he just likes to fall back. If you just set him down, he's fine. But as you mess with him, you start to manipulate him, those knees start giving way. For the legs or feet, you have tilts both directions, forward and backward. This is another area that could have stood to use a ratchet. These toes, even if you want them flat on the ground, sometimes they fold up on you. And that also gives way as you're posing him. This also tends to come apart. You just got to squeeze it back together. But this section likes to come apart. And in the instructions, the very little instructions we do get, it does warn you about that part. So I guess be careful with it, but it likes to come apart on you. For the wings, we have articulation here as well. So in and out on this joint, you have a 1, 2, 3 hinges. So you can really fold them up if you want, or extend them if you want. You can flip the wings up and get like a fully extended wing. I think in robot mode it probably should be down, but nice to have all of that articulation on the wings. For the accessories, we get these weapons, these swords. These can either mount into here and become part of the wing. There's a button right here that will launch the wing, or I guess it's the feather. If you open up the this is another issue. I wish these legs were a little more sturdy, but if you open up the hands, we can get this pegged into here. There is a circular peg on the hand, and that tabs in nice and secure in the hands, and it does have two of them, so you can get both into the hands if you want. All right, there he is with both swords. Very nice looking paint on these. I just wanted to mention this came apart as I was doing that, so definitely an issue there on the waist, but very good looking as far as the paint and the sculpt is concerned on this figure. And for size comparison, there it is next to the Masterpiece Optimus Primal, and it will fit in nicely with the Masterpiece Beast Wars collection, especially with the other Transmetal stuff. I think you'll be happy with the way it looks. Alright, let's get this guy transformed into Beast Mode. Not the most fun transformation just because there's a lot of parts that feel like they're going to break, so you got to be careful. Go ahead and open up these. You can unpeg this backpack. It might have come out on its own, but you're going to shift this up on a double hinge right here. Then we're going to take these arms. This is the easiest part. There's a tab and a slot here, so bring this up on the double hinge. Make sure the hands are closed. That'll tab in right there on the inside. And then bring this down. Bring down your paw and get that into, kind of a beast looking leg. Then go ahead and do the same thing on this side. All right, now that they got both arms transformed, we can take care of the rest. Go ahead and unpeg these arms from here. It's a teeny tiny tab holding it in, two little tabs, so just be careful. Same on this side, unpeg that. Unpeg it from the inside, and you can just set these back here for now. We're going to come to the bottom here, and normally if this was working correctly this would be tabbed in here, but like I mentioned before, it doesn't actually tab. So come to the bottom. There's two hook tabs here. You got to be careful because they like to break. There's not really a good method other than rotating it out like this to avoid, damage to those. It's just a bad design. But once you get that open, we can open up this, and here's the wolf head hiding under here. You can fix these ears. We can fold the head up, come to the back here, and we have to get this whole panel. We just fold it inside out, and it's tricky. You got to push it through, so you can stick your finger from the side, and you really got to get all of this out of here. It's annoying. I don't think it's a good design. But rotate this. Make sure these are out of the way. And then rotate this around using your fingers to feed it through. You can come to the back and push down. But gently push that through. Open up that panel. It's going to come all the way back. Bring this panel back. Push the... Actually, before we do that, we can come to the front. Open up this panel right here. That locks the head in. You can rotate that down. That'll allow you to take the head and rotate the head in. Then you can close this back up. It's actually going to fit underneath and butt up against the head. This will come back and tab in right here. Make sure it meets up. Line it up and get this tabbed in. This will come forward, this double hinge wing, and tab in right here. This will come down and tab into the top. That actually locks in pretty good on the top there. Now that you have that, you can take this. This will come underneath here and tab in right under here. There's a tab slot for it. And then same on this side, bring this back. Get that tab under and get it pegged in. On the back, you can peg these two in. They have two pegs holding those legs together. It should look something like this. And then these front tabs, we can get this accordioned up. And let me make sure I have this right. move this out of the way, accordion this up, and this will peg in. You got to be careful with the little hook tab. It's supposed to work its way under here. I hate the way it works, but tabs in under there. And then this one, same thing. It's got to work its way under, so just be careful with that little hook tab. There's not really much you can do. You can't really see what you're doing. It's a very small tolerance, but we got it. Last little bits here. Oh, and this one already closed itself, so I'll just show you again. This is going to come down and peg into the stomach. This will come down. This peg on the front is going into the neck. So aim this downwards and line that up and get that pegged in. For the wings, you can stretch them out like this. Open up this hinge. Open up this hinge. And if you don't already have it, just stick the feathers in. All right, and there's Wing Wolf in beast mode, and hence the name Wing Wolf. It really looks beautiful. The paint is very well done all throughout. Pretty accurate to the show. You do have the gimmick here, which I think is pretty cool that they worked that in. Not that something I would want, but I guess Beast Wars fans might. Let's go over the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, goes up to there, down to there. Actually goes all the way down. And then the neck itself is on a ball joint, so you can get that up and down as well. You get side to side, and it rotates around. You can't open the mouth, and again, you've got detail and painted teeth there. It looks really good. Really good. Wings can articulate the same, but I'm just going to show you. It goes up and down on this hinge, this hinge, this hinge, and then you can open and close the wing, and we can still fire the feather missile. That's what I'm calling it, feather missile. Out. Coming to the legs, you have rotation here on a ratchet, out to the side of the ratchet, bend at the knee. Same thing at the claw that we had on the legs before. On the back, we have rotation here at the leg on a ratchet, bend at the knee, and there is a cover down piece. And then there's a toe tilt. You can also tilt here at the ankle, so you can get a better, more animalistic pose out of these legs. I do recommend being careful because some of these things like to come apart, and just want to be careful. Those tabs seem a little bit thin. And for size comparison, there it is again next to the Masterpiece Optimus Primal, and nice size wing mode. It really has a big wingspan here. Just impressive size. So final recommendations on the Transart Wing Wolf. This one is a mixed bag for me. I think it looks great, but I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 partial recommendation. What it does do right is it's got some beautiful paint. It looks beautiful in robot mode and in beast mode. I do like the opening mouth and the weapons and the little gimmick they have here. But quality-wise, it's definitely lacking. One thing that's kind of an annoyance with Transart figures is they give you these cards and you scan the QR code. It takes you to Mang Motion's video. And Mang Motion's video is not even in the right direction. It goes from alt mode to robot mode, or I guess it goes from beast mode to this mode. And it's not helpful. In addition, it's moving so fast you can't follow it. So there's no instructions for this figure, which probably leads to other breakages. In addition to that, there's so many warnings about breakages that you're kind of worried about breaking it just by transforming it. So they really need to include instructions with these figures, right? Don't just rely on a video from one guy who is not even going the right direction. That being said, though, definitely has some tolerance issues. This piece right here loves to come apart very easily. The hip ratchets, the knee joints are just too loose to hold the figure. You just kind of have to pose it and leave it. Now, I think it looks great, and people who are going to get this, they'll probably be happy with it because we haven't had one of this character in a long time. But it is subpar, in my opinion, not at the Masterpiece level. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to J.R. Cho for sending us a review, and we'll see you next time.